Three. Hello, the take today. This is a take of Jon Stewart. I think he's one of the best interviewer in the world. I don't know why these people keep on coming to him. He just dismantled them right away. So he's meeting right now with the deputy of the Pentagon, where all the $850 billion of taxpayers' money goes to every year. Now this is shows you the art, how he destroys her. Oh,
The
she destroys herself without really know it. Okay, this is Jon Stewart. He has an interview with her or forum. There you go. Let's listen to it and let's have some comment. This is about the Pentagon waste of money, and they cannot audit where the money goes or where the weapons are. This is okay. I'm gonna tell you. Let's go into that first.
are these? Do you feel like these are unfair questions of somebody within a department of that size and scope?
I
Do you
think
feel
you,
that
I
that
think
it's
you're. I
somewhat
think
unfair?
you have a particular thing you really want to talk about, and you're asking me other questions. But I don't think it's unfair to ask me about the audit. It's absolutely the case that the United
Right.
States military should be able to pass an audit, and we've got to be on that pathway to get there.
But don't you think that that does speak to the larger point that we're trying to get at, which is good journalism uncovers corruption? And
Okay, I mean, good journalism does uncover corruption,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure these two things are linked. An audit
oh,
is not.
but they are.
Okay, so you.
So the whole idea is the Pentagon just asked for $800 billion. They got $60 billion more than they asked. Now they can audit the money where the money goes. There's a video of Rumsfeld before the 9/11 where he said there's $2.1 trillion missing. About a month ago, they said they have $2 trillion missing in the Pentagon. Nobody wants to talk about the money. And I have this idea in my mind, and I'm really being serious, that our civilian government is so corrupt, like the Congress and the executive branch. They're so scared of our military because they're losing legitimacy with the people. It is the only thing that they always agree on is give a lot of money to the military. They never argue over that. They argue about giving kids health care, women health care, or Medicare, or expanding Social Security, or increasing anything that helps people. But when the military asks for 800 billion, no, no, you don't need that. We got to give you $860 billion because you deserve it. You just lost two wars. You lost a 20-year war with Afghanistan, and you lost the war in Iraq. You've been losing all these wars, and we got to give you all this money because we love you. Go ahead. I want you to listen to this. This is very serious subject.
Need to explain to me, do you understand what an audit does and the degree to which it
You're a
is
fucking
linked
idiot.
to the question that
I know
you're
what an
asking?
audit is, and
I
I'm an
believe
idiot.
so.
Okay, go
but
ahead. Give
I
me
don't
your
mind.
give me
I don't
your
mind learning.
explanation.
No, I don't mind learning. So, what I would suggest is that the audit that they have in the military doesn't really look at whether or not there's efficacy. It's just whether they got delivered the thing that they ordered. And they
That is any audit. That is any audit. That is true.
But generally, those audits aren't $400 billion for Raytheon and $1.7 trillion for a plane that
Weapon
doesn't
makers.
seem to be doing. Like, there is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits and
that
waste,
is-
fraud, and abuse are not the same thing. So let's decompose
Then
these
please
pieces for a
educate
moment.
me on
Sure.
what
So an
the
audit is
difference is.
exactly what you just described,
Yes.
which is, do I know what was delivered to which place?
Right.
The ability to pass an audit, or the fact that the DoD has not passed an audit, is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse.
What is it?
That is completely false, right
What
there.
is it?
So
what is
now
it
it's a
suggestive
question
of?
of it's suggestive that we don't have an accurate inventory that we can pull up of what we have where.
You know why that's scary? Forget about the money. Imagine they can. Where's the weapons going on? Imagine with all this problem we have with militia and all the stuff that's going on in the country. Are these weapons being stolen and given to certain groups or areas of the country? Do we know where our guns are going to? Is somebody watching our guns? People have access to the military weapons and they don't know what these. This is the scary part, and it's a very serious part. I'm going to say it, man. Imagine if there are people who are white nationalists or separatists in the military who could steal all these weapons and just hide them someplace in the Midwest or in the South. If you cannot audit where the money is and where the weapons are going, then we have an issue here. And it's a very, very dangerous issue. Forget about the money. The money there is corruption. They steal the money. I'm worried about the weapons and the ammunitions that they have no idea where they are or where they're going or how much they have or if they have lost any. This is a fucking scary situation, man. Good.
That is not the same as saying we can't do that because waste, fraud, and abuse has occurred.
So in my world,
Yeah.
that's waste.
How is that waste?
If I give you $1 billion and you can't tell me what happened to it, that to me is wasteful. That means you
Well,
are
we didn't
not
necessarily-
responsible. But if you can't tell me where it went, then what am I supposed to think? And when there has been reporting, I mean, this is not, look, I'm not saying this is on you and that you caused this, but I think it's a tough argument to
I'm pretty
make
sure I
that
didn't cause it.
an $850 billion budget to an organization that can't pass an audit and tell you where that money went, like, I think most people would consider that somewhere in the realm of waste, fraud, or abuse, because they would wonder why that money isn't well accounted for.
Yeah.
And especially when they see food insecurity on military bases,
Yeah.
and they see.
You want to talk about that? Because that's a good, we should be talking. I mean,
Well,
I'm
it's
trying to
all-
understand
is-
where
all
you're trying to go,
connected.
other than
All
the
connected.
dollars, which
Well,
really
it's-
bother you.
I think it doesn't really bother me. I think it's all connected.
Okay.
I think
tell
when
me,
I
tell
look,
me that story. Tell me how you're thinking
well,
about
It's
that.
not a
when
story,
I see
idiot.
a State Department get a certain amount of money and a military budget be 10 times that, and I
What he's saying is that where are all those billions of dollars if the person or the regular people in the army don't have enough food? Some of them are on food stamps. Some of our army and marines are on food stamp because they don't make enough. Where's this money going to? $860 billion. There's a problem, man. There's a problem there, man. It's a scary problem. Everybody's scared to face it.
see a struggle within government to get people like more basic services, and
Yeah,
then
food.
that department that got that. I mean, we got out of 20 years of war, and the Pentagon got a $50 billion raise. Like, that's shocking to me. Now, I may not understand exactly the ins and outs and the incredible magic of an audit, but I'm a human being who lives on the earth and can't figure out how $850 billion to a department means that the rank and file still have to be on food stamps. Like, to me, that's fucking corruption. I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
And if
She's totally destroyed. She's totally destroyed. She's been idiot. She doesn't. This is who we have in charge of our military. She's the number 2 person on the Department of Defense. She doesn't know it. I mean, you can't say she, but she's responsible, right? You know how I used to be a store manager and a business owner. I know I was responsible of what's going on. I had to know where the money was, how much merchandise I was buying, and how much merchandise we were selling, how much money was in the bank. Are the books making any sense? Am I buying a lot of stuff? Am I buying more than I'm selling? I mean, the products are being stolen. I should know that as a person who's in charge. And she's laughing, and the guy he's hurting her. And the whole idea is you need to know where the money goes. You can have people on food stamp in the military, and you have almost $1 trillion in the $850 billion. That's what we know. They don't tell us how much they give other departments because it has to be concealed, like the CIA and other intelligence agency. That's probably hundreds of billions of dollars because they don't want the enemy to know how much we give these organizations. That's more than $1 trillion, my friend. The United States, I mean, we're going to be a military state soon because the more these fucking idiots fight in Washington, like a Congress, the Republicans, the Democrats, the more they fight every day. They fight and fight and fight. Eventually, they're going to become hostile to the military. If we were in a different country, like not a democracy, tanks would be rolling down 600 Avenue probably a long time ago. Because right now, what you have in Congress is that they're not doing anything. Do you think they're passing a law? They can't because the House is Republican majority and the Senate is Democratic majority. They can't do shit. So if they went home, and slept for the next 2 years, nothing would be affected. Nothing. All that they have to come is vote on the budget and the military and go back home. They should get regular work, go back, as plumbers and work and make real livings. Anyway, let's continue with this video.
If that blows your mind, and if you think like that's like a crazy agenda for me to have, I really think that that's institutional thinking, and that it's not looking at the day-to-day reality of the people that you call the greatest fighting force in the world. So yes. I get back to this idea of like, I'm not looking to pick a fight with you, but I am surprised at that the reaction to these questions are, you don't know what an audit is, bucko. Like, that's just weird to me.
Okay. On food insecurity, major priority for us. A lot of funds are going toward that. The biggest issues we have found, first of all, we have significantly increased funding on food insecurity. And we do think we are getting much better on that. Oh, yeah, we believe some of the challenges we face are not what you often think of as, food insecurity as hunger. They're really around, do we have food available? For instance, as people come on and off shifts, is it healthy food? Those are the types of food insecurity issues we are seeing in and around our military installations. We have increased pay 2 times in a row here. We've done 4.6% pay raise last year. We've asked for a 5.2% pay raise this year. We've also increased basic allowances and increased housing and pay and other allowances. So overall, we definitely think we need to increase the spending that we are putting forward toward our service members and their families. We're putting our money where our mouth is. Another big area is childcare. Spending a lot more money on childcare. That includes both childcare facilities and it includes benefit that allows folks to go out on the economy to get childcare and have that subsidized by the government. Those are all examples of ways we're trying to put money forward for our service members and their families.
Right. There you have it. The whole issue here is if they don't know where the money is going, imagine where the weapons are going. Like the small weapons, the surplus of weapons, they get old, what they do with them. It's a dangerous shit is going on over there. I hope, the only thing that worries me is the weapons, man. Because the way we're living right now, the situation we think our country is going towards, I hope, maybe it's my mind, maybe I'm reading too much into it. But anyway, Jon Stewart did his job. He dismantled her. Look at him. He knew he had her ready, so he let her blabber in the last 2 minutes. She could go away. Anyway, thank you, Jon Stewart, for doing another job, for dismantling another politician.